Hello World Selection community, I'm your host RB32 and today we have some 2v2 game from the tiny tournament that was hosted by Big Bad Wolf and Mezombody. So who are our players? We got here some Book 974, he's a French player, he's a good player, he's a recent newcomer to our ranked community and we can expect good stuff from him. He played in the last 1v1 tiny tournament and he showed promising results, so I want to see what's gonna happen. Now his ally I want to say Rar what the fuck, I need to stop this. Okay, Roro, no, Arrow, I'm gonna call him Arrow, easier. Arrow, that's right, Arrow. Instead of calling him Robo, I'm just gonna call him Arrow because that's easier to pronounce. So Arrow, that's definitely not how it's pronounced, but let's go with that way. Oh my god, now I know what's gonna happen. We have in the other team XFactorLive, the top player on the list. You know how it's gonna go. He's a good player, actually the best player in the game, and his ally is Pizza, a French player, and he is also one of the top players, one of the titans in World Selection. Pizza and XFactor, if I'm not wrong, it's kinda equal. They sometimes win against each other, sometimes they lose against each other. It's a tough one. And if I'm not wrong, XFactor said that he might lose once every 20 games to Team On. So you can expect that chances are that every 1-2 games he might lose to Pizza. So there's a big difference there. It's a big difference. So what happens? Now let's just observe the map for a little bit, because maps are important. This is not a big map. Look at the map. Not a big map. Not a big map at all. The resources are big. There's a lot of wood at the beginning of the match. It's no problem only on. The size where you can build is not too big as well, but it's not too small. It's easy to wall. The iron is very big at the beginning. It's 15k. Should be more than sufficient. And if they are observant, they can also see the copper there. If they are observant, if not, then this node, and this node should be more than adequate early on. Actually, even until IR. But anyways, that should be more than sufficient. Now, in terms of entrances, it's gonna be a bit of a trouble to get through there. It's gonna be a little bit of a trouble to find here an entrance. I would assume there isn't. So the only entrance is this. And maybe the hill there. And yeah, I mean, so essentially this line is the main focal point. Yeah, it's gonna be the main focal point of the match, and it's gonna be a tough one. Now, for the time being, Book and Arrow are fighting on the front, and they're gaining momentum. Now, Pizza comes to assist XFactor, and XFactor is producing slingers on his base, not letting anything come towards his workers. Now there is a entrance has been penetrated. XFactor needs to run with his workers a little bit, otherwise there will be some heavy damage there. Now XFactor aged up, he went Europe, and now he needs to upgrade workers ASAP. He needs the food. Food. No, he had food. Fish. Okay, here's the tip, If you want to gather this fish and you cannot make a warehouse, you make a pier, because workers can gather from a pier. Anyways, XFactor economy looks dire, but he has some workers gathering resources. Not a lot, but has some. You can also hunt a little bit of deers here and there. Actually, more than enough to cover, because this is a lot of deers. A lot of theirs. Actually, a lot of it. But he does need to maintain his army and not lose, because once he loses his army, he cannot recover it easily. So it's up to Pizza to help him a lot. Because at this time, his opponent, Arrow, has all of the... I mean, he has the chickens up. He probably even has the upgrade. I mean, he's starting to get the houses upgraded, so you can definitely tell that he's in a better spot. But he has a lot of pits, only 4. It's a little bit lacking, but... Oh, he also have pits in the front. Not pits, it's more like shooting ranges. So you can tell he wants to go somewhere in an attack. Similarly, you can see here warriors coming up. Because of the distance, then you want to get into the battle ASAP. That's why there are warriors coming up from both Pizza and Book. It's a good idea, valid choice. I agree with that. Now, what's the best option for... or you can just make shooting ranges on the front line. Also wall up the entrances, because you don't want to get some sneaky units coming into your base. Although, I'll be frank with you guys, there's a gap. Has to be a gap. This must be a gap. Undoubtedly there is a gap here, probably here as well. And you know, just to be sure, you have to wall this. And I'm not too certain, but this is a big gap, guys. This is a huge gap. Anyways, ignoring gaps, because you know gaps are a thing in war selection. You just cannot live without them. It's just part of your experience. Eventually, gaps will end your life in war selection. You just have to deal with that. Anyway, there's a huge army here. Huge army. Slingers from both sides. Actually, no. Only slingers from X Factor, I think. Yes. But anyways, Pizza comes in at the time that he needs support. And most of the armies are actually down here, and there is an attack behind and some more. Oh my goodness, I actually love this, because this is a huge army, gun to waste, no damage at all. But I can't understand why, because if you look at this carefully, this is a big army here. They have the advantage of the distance. He can produce an army or a sliver of army. And you have to understand, Europe, when their economy is stable and when they can produce their army slowly, they're very strong. And at the other side, we have no Europe. So over time, Book and Arrow will be in a disadvantage, because essentially X Factor could just make a higher tier army and just push. Either with catapults? Yeah. Catapults, rams, swordsmen, grenadier, what am I talking about? There's a lot of variety, really. Horsemen are definitely a good choice. Valid choice to make some harassment. Although it's gonna be a little bit tough. You can enter through here. Find a way inside here. Definitely there's options, but that's gonna cost and it's gonna take a while as well. It's not gonna be an easy one, but it's definitely an option. Now, in terms of iron, you can see this one, they only started to gather it a little bit. Same here. They have enough to reach Iron Age, Medieval. Some of them anyway. Okay. X Factor, Medieval. He also always produces workers. Guys, a big tip. If you have the economy and if your town hall is idle, that's not good. You need to produce workers on every given time, because workers bring back everything that you put into them, and also they take a while to get out. So if you lose those workers, you will always have a backup to make more economy, because workers are economy, they're money, they're gonna give you money back. Anyways, there's the huge army here, mainly composed out of Pizza and slightly, actually I'm not too sure. Yeah, mainly composed of Pizza. And Pizza also upgrades some of his army into Ashigarus, which they have superb DPS compared to RNH units. So they can take down the towers pretty fast with those units, but at the same time they die rapidly from the archers. But it's okay, because this is only towers. They're gonna delay a bit, they're gonna get some kills, and the army from Book and from Arrow will eventually hold this line, no problem at all. And also, it's not very worth to take the trades here. Sure, you have the advantage in numbers, but you're also losing quite a numbers from these towers. And because they're Asian units, they can be replenished very fast. So this is something to take into account when you're taking the battle on the front line. Replenishment. You need to replenish the army. So at the moment, they should not take too many battles here. They need to upgrade their units and then come forward and push. For some unknown reason, we got some samurais in the mix. Very sassy units, very sassy. If you get samurais, you're either desperate or because you want the MVP points. Samurais are MVP. By the way, did I? Yeah, it's okay. It's for MVP points. Now, as you can see, those buildings are going down fast because those Ashigarus have very good DPS. Now, they're not the best, but they're also not the worst. They are the second worst. They are even worse than them in terms of medieval spearmen. If you go West Asia, then that's it. Even worse, because their DPS is horrendous. Anyways, what is XFactor doing? So XFactor is medieval, is now getting the pop upgrade, and he's gonna pump out more workers. I would assume a pier is up and running somewhere, and he is up and running. There's a big lake around here. He's gonna produce more and more. Sounds good, I'm happy. And now let's behold on the iron. There is no problem. This is more than enough to reach IR, and there's also one up and running there, which is also enough to reach IR, or not, probably not, but it's enough for time being. And you can also take this one, so it's no problem. There's also an iron node here, so honestly, there is really not a problem in terms of iron. Okay, so let's look at the economy perspective. Who died? Someone died. I heard someone died. Never mind, something died, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. There is a huge army coming in from Pizza. They're only heavy archers, and they're more than enough to hold the line. On this side here, we got some shenanigans going around from XFactor to produce 34 swordsmen. Now, let me tell you something. Swordsmen, good DPS, very good DPS. Problem is, not very good in medieval. Sure, they can take down houses very fast, but they cannot kill the town hall. Yes, they cannot kill the town hall. They can kill every building very fast, but not the town hall. And they die extremely fast to archers. And not worth it. So not worth it. Not worth at all. You just wasted all of this iron for nothing. Swordsmen cost a gigantic amount of iron for what they provide. They provide a huge DPS in RNH, which is also why they cost so much iron. 50 iron! In RNH, 50 iron is equivalent to 5 heavy spearmen, which heavy spearmen last for long. So the DPS actually have a meaning. Of course, they don't kill buildings as fast as a swordsman, but they do a substantial amount. Instead, what they should have opted for is actually upgrading those swordsmen into land snack, and those land snack would have survived for a long period of time, and they would have penetrated all the way here, killed everything on the path. And with a combination of heavy archers or just archers, he will be able to do much wanted damage. But he did not do that. But anyways, it's fine because we got some pikemen up and running. And we have to understand, pikemen in West Europe are very busted. I'm assuming that X-Factor is getting the upgrades for them, and he is. Pikemen will have 12 damage, and with the extra DPS from their attack speed multiplier, they will have roughly 17 to 18 damage, which is even higher than the swordsman. Way higher. So from a DPS perspective, pikemen are better, and they also have higher range, which means they have effective DPS. Their effective DPS is substantially higher. Anyways, regardless of anything, the push from arrow and from book is undisputed, very strong. We got some spingles which got some nice buffs in the last patch. They got some, I think, 2% accuracy and a bit more damage for their projectiles. Not against buildings, against units, making them extremely effective at killing everything, although not very effective at killing pikemen, because pikemen have 80 plus HP, 85 I think, so they needed 2 projectiles, which are essentially impossible. On the other hand, archers and workers might be easily dealt with 1 projectile. Anyways, the battle here is quite immense, and there is some push going forward from book, but western towers are also being pushed. So this is not going to be an easy one. You can definitely tell there's some iron node going up there. It's going to be expended. Honestly, all of the swordsmen that X-Factor got costed so much, and in the end did not provide anything, which is a bit sad, I think. Now I'm wondering, okay, so X-Factor is heading for late medieval, and we got some pizza which is already late medieval. And what's gonna happen? I just don't know. My frames are running low right now. I don't know why. Oh, I just don't know what's gonna happen. There's just so much action going on. Sure, this area is blocked. No one's gonna go through there. This area is also blocked. No one's gonna go through there. The only difference is that for some reason, Arrow is making springles. And springles are just not effective at killing buildings. He needs to rush to late medieval and get those better siege, or better yet, better siege, because those springles are rubbish. They're just not gonna cut it. So yeah, he just reached, I believe, late medieval, and at this side you need cannons. Where are your cannons? Oh, where are your cannons? I don't think he needs to upgrade everything, so he's probably late medieval, right? Has to be. Anyway, those springles probably cost quite a lot, and that's a below for waste, in my opinion. Sad. Okay, so I mean, it's a bit of a tough one, because at the moment this is a little bit hard to push, but the main unit that you have to take into account at the moment. Oh, and there's also Harkebusier. Nice damage though. Yeah, nice damage. I like it. I mean, these archers are also nice, but they're also nice as well, the Harkebusier, and they made them cheaper, so they're not bad. Not bad at all. Ooh. What is this? Bashibazook? Bashibazook. Not bad. Could be better, but not bad. It's very difficult to push this line. At the same time, it's very difficult to do anything. You need siege, and the only meaningful siege that could provide any significant damage to building is something that has a long range, and that's cannons. Actually, mortars. No, cannons are better. Cannons are better, but mortars have the capability to actually shoot down all of this. Wait, what? IR? Oh, very sussy. Sussy gameplay is going up. Pizza is IR. Is it Japan? Nah, India. India. Okay. He's India. So, Pizza is taking all of the can from the sea. I like it. You always want the free food. X Factor has 10k. What the hell, man? 10k. Pizza. He's balanced. I love it. I love it. If he needs food, you can just ask X Factor because X Factor is rich. Let's see. X Factory is going to France. That's surprising. France has good air units, right? And some tanks, but I don't think he actually wants to use those stuff. I'm a bit surprised. I don't know. Anyways, those cannons from book will definitely be menacing, but there is one big difference between West Asia cannons and European cannons. You know what's the difference? One has 300 range and the other has 250. 50 range gap and a big accuracy difference. Actually, I think he doesn't have the upgrade. Book. Where is it? Where's your melting houses? Melting. Here we go. You need this, man. You need this upgrade. This upgrade is critical. Every shot must hit. Very critical. Anyways, that extra range, 50 range that West Europe has, actually West and East, because they're the same cannons as far as I remember, they're very efficient in terms of range. They have quite damage as well. Actually, not a lot of damage. They actually have lower damage than the Asia version, the West Asian version. Holy gigantum! Well, I think Pizza doesn't want to take the risk. Pizza going forward with his own elephant machine gunners. He's going forward with around 20 hand cannons. This can actually end the game if no one stops him. Oh, but those hand cannons from Arrow will come forward and might be able to make the clutch. Maybe, but it depends who has a better micro. And it appears that the ones with the better micro is from X Factor, because X Factor focus on those and they are very important. It will appear that soon enough Arrow will not be able to hold the line. They're just too distracted at both front lines, and this is something that you need to micro properly. X Factor is delaying this area, and at the same time Arrow is being attacked from Pizza, and he cannot hold it. He just cannot. Sure, a lot of the siege are dying. In the end, what matters is the results, and the results are very clear. The game is over, because doesn't matter what Book will do, he will not be able to do it alone. I see some ships here, so I guess he just transported the workers there to get the extra iron, but it's not enough. It's just not enough. And I think my FPS dropped a lot during the game. Bit sad. Maybe I need to restart my PC. Yeah, probably. Anyways, so hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. It was a nice one. So if you did, consider subscribing to my channel, liking, commenting, and all the good stuff, you know. And yeah, let's see how far this game will go, because at the moment this should be GG. I mean, it is GG. One of them already said GG, so I mean, he doesn't want to give up. Does he even have anything in his arsenal? Or he just doesn't want to give up? Yeah, he just doesn't want to give up. Alright. Fair enough. My. Alright. Interesting choice there. Janissary. Okay. Well, this will not last for long. Come on. End the game. Actually, I might as well make a thumbnail at this moment. Yeah, let's make a thumbnail. Why not? Why not? Thumbnail moment! Thumbnail moment! What do I do for thumbnail? I just take this, spin it a little, get some water effect on this side, and this looks rubbish. All right, let's change the perspective a little bit. Yeah, something like this, and there you go. Good enough. Honestly, I might check other locations, but it's okay. Let's go back. So, the match is donezo. Or not. Don't tell me you're repairing. He is actually repairing. My god, give up, man. This is done. Done. Why? He reminds me of my fuse. He doesn't give up even when it's over. Alright, so hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye.